everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Heidi from My Reading Life, and I'm here today to film my review video for the Book Naturalist Book Club pick for the month of January. So it's the first book for 2025, and it is a reread of the first book that we ever picked for the Book Naturalist Book Club way back 5 years ago. So very exciting, very exciting. We reread World of Wonders in Praise of Fireflies, Whale Sharks, and Other Astonishments by Aimee Nezhukumatathil. And this is an essay collection. Aimee Nezhukumatathil is a poet and a university professor in the southeastern part of the United States. She is the child of immigrants. And in this collection, she writes about her personal experiences illustrated by different plants and animals that she thinks fit the story that she's telling. And she does such a good job of weaving in these stories of these different species into the narrative of her life. So it starts out describing her childhood. She moved around a lot as a kid. Her parents are both, I believe, both doctors, and they had different assignments in different parts of the country. So she lived all over. And she talks about the different natural elements of each of those places that she lived. She talks about being, a child of immigrants in these different locations in the United States and how she was treated differently because of the color of her skin. But she just writes it so beautifully, and she weaves these elements together so seamlessly. This is the best kind of nature writing, I think, in terms of if you're going to write about your personal experiences and weave in the environment and species and love of nature. Aimee Nezhukumatathil is an expert in this style of writing. And in addition to the lovely writing, there are lovely illustrations throughout the book. And that just enhances your experience when reading. And I would like to share with you a little selection from the book, because I think that the only way that you'll really know if this is the type of writing for you is to hear what it sounds like. So, and I wanted to say too that she weaves in stories of her personal experiences throughout her life. So she starts off in her childhood, and then she goes through, teenagerhood, young adulthood, marriage, becoming a parent, and all these stages of her life she finds pieces of the natural world to illustrate the stories that she's telling. It's just so well done. So this is from the essay about the corpse flower. A few years ago, my husband and I took our boys to the Buffalo Botanical Gardens to see if we could catch a glimpse of Morty, the corpse flower who was set to bloom any day. As with any outing with two boys under 6, the visit ended up taking hours. After the touch-me-not plants, the Venus flytraps, the oversized checkerboard, and the dinosaur topiaries, the boys found the cactus room and all of its wild and deliciously dangerous offerings, most of them, of course, eye-level to a child. Before we knew it, the line to see Morty had already wound twice around the lobby. His appearance, after all, drew the biggest crowds in the garden's 115-year history, but the long line was worth it, as my boys' awe and squeals of disgust will attest. The spathe, or the skirt of the corpse flower, is the richest red and maroon. From a distance, its frills look like a plush velvet, an extravagant upside-down winter ball gown. But this gown isn't velvet at all. Rather, it is waxy to the touch. In its center, the chartreuse spadix rises to the sky at recorded heights of over 12 feet. When the two rings of citrus-colored flowers fully bloom and the giant meat skirt of the inflorescence unfolds, the spadix temperature approaches that of a healthy human body, one of the only times this happens in the plant world. And the famous smell, the smell, becomes a fragrant invitation to nocturnal insects like carrion beetles. So, the fact that she can take, this experience of taking her children to this botanical garden and describing their sense of awe and wonder, and then going into this excellent description of this corpse flower and, describing the part of a plant as a meat skirt, you can totally visualize what she's seeing in your mind when she talks about it. She has just such a wonderful way with words. And even if you don't think that you are the type of person that likes books written by poets, you don't like that sort of flowery language, I can assure you that Aimee Nezhukumatathil knows what she's doing. And I never once felt overwhelmed by language. She just brings you along with her, and she writes so well and really exemplifies what you want in the craft of nature writing. So that was a highly success. Another 5 stars for me. It was 5 stars the first time I read it. It's 5 stars this time. And now for February, we are going to read Spillover, Animal Infections and the Next Human Pandemic by David Quammen. When I read this the first time, I read it in the ebook. And so I've since acquired a physical copy of the book. So I am very excited to reread the book in the physical, so I can get all of the, I can tab and underline to my heart's content. It is a larger book, but David Quammen is a really excellent writer, and you will know that you are in good hands with him as he explains to you how diseases travel back and forth between humans and animal species. And you might find this particularly interesting at the moment as we are experiencing an outbreak of bird flu in the United States. So yeah, that's what we will be reading for February. Very timely. I hope that you will join us in reading the next book for the Book Naturalist Book Club. I hope you're all doing well and finding some great books to read. I'll talk to you later.